Hi guys, so I know that commuting is the most annoying thing in the world, and if you commute then I totally feel you because I've been there. I actually commuted for about 3 months last year, and I just found it not stressful all the time, but I know there were times I literally just didn't want to get out of bed in the morning. I thought it'd be good to kind of share with you the kind of things that I like to do whilst I'm, commuting. So I thought it'd be good to share with you some book ideas that I have here on my phone. I use things like Kindle and Audible, and I thought that it would be good to share with you the things that I've been listening to as I've gone to work, because I still travel by bus, but it just doesn't take hours and hours anymore. But then kind of inspire you if you're looking for something new to read, or you're kind of thinking of something else that you haven't really thought about reading yet, then maybe this will give you a few ideas. The first title I want to talk about is sort of a light-hearted comedy, and it's a book called Not Working, and it's by Lisa Owens. Now this is a book that I actually purchased a while back, maybe in the summer months, and this was when I was looking for a job myself. I looked at this book and thought that it would be like a right laugh to kind of listen to it and just to lighten my mood a little bit. So basically this book is about somebody called Claire who has just quit her job, which is something that I actually ended up doing, and she goes on sort of like this journey of discovery to try and find out what she wants to do with her life. And along the way she encounters a lot of people that seem to know what they're doing, and she's kind of that person that's a little bit lost. So I feel like everybody can relate to this. It's just a really honest kind of account of somebody trying to make their way through their life. And there's parts of it that's talking about adulting and growing up and like responsibilities, earning money, that kind of thing, like society, what society thinks about you when you're unemployed. Just the struggles that I think we all go through. It's a British author, so it has a bit of British comedy and humour in there, which I can totally relate to. With all the titles, I'll put the details in the down bar for you to check out for yourself. So the next one kind of fits the brief of commuting. I guess for those people who like to listen to TED Talks and that kind of thing, and podcasts while they're on the train or the bus going into work. The next one is more of like an inspirational thing to help you in your actual your working life, I suppose. I think her name is Lounders. So she has a book called How to Talk to Anyone, and I know that this is like a massive bestseller and a lot of people have purchased this, so I'm sure it's not new news to you, but I thought I'd mention it anyway because I found it so helpful. And as somebody who really suffers with social situations, social gatherings, I do feel like a slight anxiety when I go into meetings or when there's like a social gathering. Like it really makes me feel really tight and like I can't speak and just things like that, and I really struggle with small talk. And I think this book deals with like how you're able to communicate with literally anybody. She touches on something about like the big baby pivot, which is one of her techniques, and I really relate to that because I remember I talked about my own experience of speaking with people is looking at them as though they are babies. So I kind of thought that was really cool. If you're like me, you struggle to speak to people and anxiety gets the better of you, then this is one of those books that will literally change your life. 2 more titles to go through and then you're done, you're free to go and do what you were going to do before. But the next title I wanted to talk about is more like a crime suspense genre. And this is my favourite kind of fictional book. I do love a good juicy like murder story. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like this is one of those things that I've always loved, even like being young. I do love a good like storyline. It's by Jeffrey Deaver, and Jeffrey Deaver is one of my all-time favourite crime suspense novelists, and it's called XO. So I'll give you a basic overview. This book is about a country singer called Kaylee Town, and she has this kind of like obsessive fan called Edwin Sharp, and he just like writes her letters and that kind of thing about her work. And then she releases this new song and he just goes into like an obsessive mode. Basically, one night one of her team members gets killed in a really like horrible accident, and kind of all fingers almost point to her kind of obsessive fan, and then they have to get a special agent on the case to investigate stalking. Jeffrey Deaver takes you through the journey of doubting yourself, and you think you know what's going to happen, and then he throws a curveball and then something else happens. You're like, wait, I thought this is what you thought, and then it's just completely like confusing. And there was a time where I literally could not put it down because I was just so intrigued. Like his writing is amazing. I feel like it's just one of those things that are just so exciting and really cool that anyone could read it. So that's definitely my crime and suspense pick. And the very last book that I'm going to talk about is something of a more like a slightly controversial, but it's a really like it's a new way of thinking. It's that kind of book where it's kind of like thinking in a different way to like how society is today. It's a book by Naomi Alderman and it's called Power. And this book discusses like what it would be like if women had power over men. It follows the stories of 4 different girls. These 4 girls in their 4 different situations. I think they all kind of have experienced some kind of abuse, maybe from like men or whatnot. They've been hurt or attacked in their lives, and they've all come into a place where they discover they have this special power. And it turns out that only women are able to possess this power, and it's a power of like almost magnetic, so when they touch things they actually can cause electric shocks and that kind of thing to the people that they touch, or those that I guess in defense as well. So it's a really like cool kind of like storyline. Men in this book are like the inferior and the women are like the superior. I feel like this would be a book that feminists would love. The character in this, kind of, this is a spoiler, but as a character in this that can bring healing. So it's kind of that thing about, you know, do you use your powers to hurt? Do you use your powers to heal? Okay, so this is controversial slightly for me because I've really been enjoying this book, but there's elements in here that touch slightly on part of me that I don't feel comfortable in. A character in this book has a voice that she hears in her head, that not a voice in her head, but a voice that speaks to her and tells her what to do, and this voice is almost like a god. And this voice, obviously, in this kind of vein, is female, almost too parallel to the events and the history of Christianity. And it's a bit, I mean, I'm not going to say blasphemous, but it is slightly like, wow, you know, it kind of, unfortunately for me, it really like disturbs me, and it kind of makes me feel like, should I be listening to this? I mean, it's difficult to read books as a Christian because I know there's so many things out there that aren't going to necessarily agree with the things that I believe in my faith. I feel like great books do that. I feel like great books will make you like not question, but it will make you think, and I like that about a book. I like the fact that it has that element of making me go away, and it impacts me enough that I'm thinking about my life and thinking about the world and thinking about what if this happened. So, yeah, I'd love to hear your views on that, because honestly, like, I don't really know what to do about it, but it's a great book, so I think it's worth the investment. Again, the links will be in the down bar. I definitely would recommend Audible as a way to, you know, kind of like get into your favourite reads and discover new titles and that kind of thing. But that is the video for today, and I thought that, you know, it may be a bit short, I'm not sure, but I hope that it was useful anyway. And yeah, like I said before, if you like this, then give this a thumbs up. Remember to leave a comment about some of the titles that I mentioned, if you have a different opinion, if you've read them, and maybe give me some suggestions as to what I should be reading next, because I love books. Next time, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day, and I will see you soon. Bye.